counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? What I realized, it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in. How you doing, everybody? On this fine Monday, White History Month is still going. Don't you forget it. It's the 29th. We're still rocking and rolling. It's Monday, but we're on a 29. We're on a 31-day bender. 31-day bender. No surrender. Welcome to the show. How you doing, everybody? Gonna get going here on American Anchor Baby. And we got a couple things to get into. Comunismo. Seamos un tilín menos egoístas. More on that in a moment. I do want to get into a couple things here with all of you today. I want to say hello and welcome to rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, dlive.tv/Gorgonzola for being faithful and watching the show over there. You know, you could be faithful supporters wherever you like. In fact, one special place. This is only for the inner circle. This is only for the OGs, the inner circle, the ones who will be there till the wheels fall off. Ride or die, punchy.tv, okay? punchie.tv. We're live, okay? That's where this show will always be, at least where I will be, okay? But whether it's this show or some other iteration of the Anchor Baby, I will always be live on punchy.tv. So thank you. 31-day bend. How you doing, everybody? Thank you. I see some lovely people who were with us on our Friday Nick stream. Some of our most special passengers, well-behaved. And even those who not. We love them all. They're on the plane. They're with us today. You don't want to miss those Friday shows. It's different. It was really different this Friday and Thursday, thanks to the nameless benefactor. Oh, sorry. I thought I heard him. Him or her. I don't even know. I get nervous. I get nervous because this person has requests, and you have to comply. Our nameless benefactor Welcome, Chaos Confessional, 𝒔𝒐𝒊𝒂𝒎, Ivana, Becca, Linya, Chin Cleaner, Radio Lasers. All right, spoiler alert. Hey, I can't get through them all. Thank you for being in the chat. It helps. It supports the Anchor Baby. Chat away. Hit the algorithm right. Leave a comment. Leave a like. Maybe you don't like what you see. Show some brotherly Christian love. Or whatever. I don't know who you worship. You're telling me you worship someone that's not telling you to love? It's not telling you to love your brother? Tell him, hey, you know what? Here's what you can improve on. Wishing you well. Then what are you worshiping? What are you doing? What the heck are you doing? I don't know. Figure it out, bud. How about you figure it out? It's time to figure it out. Okay, you're too old to not figure it out. It's time to figure it out. You're listening to me right now. You're listening to me right now. And this message is for you. Figure it out. It's time to figure it out. You can figure it out. Just do it slowly, one step at a time. Appreciate it. Okay, look, I got some stuff to get into. There's some stuff to get into. They are saying this shouldn't be happening. Yet there's no media outcry. And we're going to Twitter for this one. X.com. I'm sorry, Elon. At this point, at these heights, can we show a little respect? The liberals. It's almost like capitalizing the word black, calling Trump the president as opposed to former president. You know what I mean? Using the right language. You're hitting the dog whistles. I don't know what you call them, but at this point, calling it Twitter is like, what are you, a Satanist? Okay, we're playing around. Elijah Schaffer is not playing around. And he reposts this video from End Wokeness. 500 communists are currently marching through Philadelphia. Zero media outrage, they say. And he shares a little video here. We got a little video on the docket. And we're going to play it. As you can see, there they are.
Good evening. We are off and we will be on special events. I'll be checking in with them on the photos.
Cover. Hello. Okay.
Silver.
Receive. Good evening. Need the company theater. Have a good match.
Hey, George. 14.
Brave New World. They're marching in the streets. Are these the winners? Are these the winners of society? Those who, the winners marching through their conquered land. What is this? Come on. Elijah Schaffer says, when Nazis march, the right attacks them and condemns them. When communists march, nobody condemns them. Gets zero coverage. The left lets their extremists run loose. Huge reason why the Overton window still slants still slants left. The Overton window. This is some of these terms, political stuff you may have heard. It basically means what's in allowed discourse. What's within the confines of allowed discourse, and because you can still get, you can be very, you could rub the normies, the mass people the wrong way, but still be within the Overton window, and it slants left. So what you can be extremist about is what is the force in political discourse that's pulling things closer to the extremist end. And so that's the left slant that Elijah Schaffer's talking about. I always say, says Elijah Schaffer, who needs the left when you spend more time policing your own side than actually trying to beat the other? I mean, anyone have thoughts on that? I don't really have thoughts on that. Not just reacting like on policing your own side. Policing your own side. You have enough trouble policing yourself. Am I sanctioning neo-Nazism, says Elijah Schaffer? No. What I'm saying is that the right spends more time rooting out anyone considered too fundamentally right-wing, only installs moderates. The left embraces extremism, doesn't waste time neutering their most fundamental factions. It allows them to look more moderate. Okay. Hey, what do you think about what Elijah Schaffer said? 888-775-3773. You have other things to say? Call the Anchor Baby. I haven't said the number yet, but you got something on your mind? Go ahead. Some insight into what Schaffer's saying here. I have some thoughts here in a moment, but just the main thing here right now is the lack of media coverage, the lack of media coverage and what he's trying to point out here. Is that fair to say? I think it might be. And I did a little testing of this. We tested the spirit. We done tested the spirit. And I am trying to pull up a little image because I saved this just in case the memory hole, just think, you know how they change articles, they go back and change search results and all that. And this happens very often, so I took a little screenshot of what I did so that we could see. And we'll test it here in a second, but I did search Philadelphia March. I done searched it up. Philadelphia March. And as you can see, you get, here are your top stories for Philadelphia March. Business Today, okay, that's, I think, a publication I heard of. Nothing major, I don't think. Ideology linked to 100 million deaths. Leftist March, okay. India Today? I'm so glad we got India Today on the big topics to inform the American public. I'm sure that's one of the top hits when you hit Google. That makes sense, right? We appreciate India Today. We love the Indians. What's up? And they got their finger on the pulse at least. But where will we be? I'll go on Google right now, in fact. I'll go on Google right now. No, Yahoo, I don't need you. I'm just using you to get to Google. And I'll type in. Let's type in. What did I type? Philadelphia March. And as you can see, the top stories are India Today, the Philly soccer page, March report, Columbus Crew, 3-2, Philippines. Okay, no, not what I'm looking for. And then what do you get here? You get Jewish Federation. No, that's not it. You just get the communist events, Eventbrite. There's something missing here, Google. Okay, maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's because I didn't type in Communist March. Philadelphia Communist March. What do we get, Google? We get India Today, Business Today. Where's CNN? Where's the Wall Street Journal? Where are y'all? Where y'all at? Philadelphia hosts large Communist Party parade. Thank you, local news. Reddit, Communist Party USA.org. I'm glad to see that Google remains an unbroken website that is good to use for searching, right? That's right. You know, here's a side note. I took another picture of Google to catch them in the act. Just in case they changed it, we're about to test it. But look, I typed in assassination of Truman, Trotsky, Trujillo. What are you talking about? Assassination of Trotsky movie? Really? Really, Google? Trujillo. You're telling me Trujillo? You're telling me Trujillo is a more searched term than assassination of Trump? Come on. Now, who in the hay is Trujillo? Trujillo. Rafael Trujillo. Why am I doing? I'm doing it too Latino, too Italian, but come on, Google. Come on, Google. So I took a little screenshot. I caught them in the act. And I'll bet you 5 Bolivian pesos. I'll bet you 5 Venezuelan boliviars that we'll get the same thing here. Let's go to Google front page. Let's do a little live test. Assassination of Look at this. True. Let's put TRU. Truman. Let's put TRUM. Assassination of Truman, American politics, the Kennedys. Let's just, maybe you meant the Kennedys and not Trump. Okay, come on, Google. And look, what is this little Tweety bird they got here? Let's click on it. Artistic gymnastics? What the heck is this? You know how Google has a little, speaking of side notes, let's keep it going. Google has a little bird, you know, they have a little, they usually have a little animated image, and they give some special attention to some holiday or event. And I guess this has to do with Olympics, artistic gymnastics. Why am I getting the feeling like this is not real gymnastics? You have to put the word artistic in front of it. Artistic gymnastics. What the heck is this? One more minute, chat, and then we'll get back to the. Then we'll get back to the show. How to understand gymnastics? No, I don't care about this. I'm talking about artistic gymnastics, which they made apparently a whole. Did they make a whole section out of it? Whatever, Google. The world's artistic gymnastics. We're getting nothing. Look at this broken website. Broken internet, unusable websites. What can I say? This is what we got to deal with. Everything kind of declines in quality, including even your Satanists. They're just like, let's just copy the Last Supper and be like, we're queer. It's like, come on. Where's Kubrick? Where's the... Anyways, look, we're talking about Google blocking Trump. Little side note, we're done with that. But the Business Today did speak on this, the communists here, and I saw someone calling in. You could call me back, 888-775-3773. We will get to calls today. But Business Today, ideology linked to 100 million deaths. Leftists march with communist flags in Philadelphia. Well, good thing we have at least some news, right? From what seems to be an American publication. And from this, we learn that on Sunday, the newly formed Revolutionary Communists of America, the RCA, held their inaugural Congress in Philadelphia, marking the establishment of their American chapter of the Revolutionary Communist Coordination, a global movement active in multiple countries. Well, shouldn't that be cause for alarm? In that, let's say I was in the government, and let's say I'm like a Republican or a Democrat, and I was voted in by my people, and then these foreign groups. What? I'm supposed to. I know I'm being probably ignorant here. I'm probably being ignorant that this group probably came up. They got all licensed and did everything. All their P's and Q's are all done bureaucratically. It's all legal in a sense. But this is coming from outside. Isn't this a foreign threat? Don't we have laws against foreign organizations? I guess this is only for nations or something like that. But foreign money affecting the American mind? Or am I being too vague with it? Maybe we got to start doing that. So a little bit more on this. Just quickly to inform the people. The people marching. Approximately 500 RCA members marched through the Philadelphia streets. They displayed their flags. The demonstration garnered widespread attention, including condemnation from high-profile figures such as Elon Musk, CEO of X. Musk, with an estimated net worth of $238 billion. Ooh, he's one of those billionaires, these flag people, huh? They probably don't like. He's one of these nasty billionaires, huh? He's just a nasty, evil billionaire because that's part of that ideology, you know? This assumption of malice in these people in this world, that they can only have that kind of money through evil means, that they have to oppress someone else, etc. It's got to go back to the workers. These are what the communists say, and so that Elon Musk comes up and all that. It makes sense, right? Look, in fact, India today, where would we be without India today right now, says they're calling billionaires parasites on his own platform. They're calling Elon Musk a parasite and other billionaires. And on Musk's own platform, free speech, you know, it's sometimes a painful thing, but Elon Musk ain't feeling any way about it, right? And so that's a little bit on that. They're mad at the parasites. They're marching through the streets of America. They are the youth of tomorrow, they say. In fact, let's just go through this real quick. Some of the stuff they were posting. Hundreds march through. They're saying say hello to America's communist generation, they say. Listen what they're saying. Class war 2024. Fight the rich and feed the poor. You guys kind of lost your rhythm there, I think. Have you guys looked into a more entertaining person to lead this march? You might be in rhythm. You might stay in rhythm if that's what happened. Okay. What was I saying? Class war 2024, they're saying. They're saying class war 2024. Fight the rich and feed the poor, they say. Now, how could you be against that? Right? That's so nice. Robin Hood and all that. Robin in the hood. But taking this right here, taking me back to Elijah Schaffer's tweet on policing your own side, etc. The Christians and people reacting to the Paris Olympics and other things here. What comes to mind is what's it called? This whole like signal boosting vibe I was getting at earlier about what you overreact to is what you give a foothold to. What you give a foothold to. Imagine I know there are things in the way, and I know that I could maybe I'm being ignorant about something here. You can call the anchor, baby, 888-775-3773, but let's say they're marching. But you watch for your own, watch for your family, for your neighborhood, and you just do your best in that respect. They would go away. What would it matter? They would just be yelling, and then they would fizzle out. But you got to keep throwing in leña. You got to keep throwing in wood, fuel to the fire. And that requires us looking at this and going like, no, this can't be. And then you turn around to your son or to your daughter. I'm a Republican. Don't you know that this house is a conservative household? It's a Christian household. You're gonna. And there goes another communist. I'm just kind of speaking maybe inaccurately, but where am I wrong? Where am I wrong? On what I've said, I guess. Look, you got them marching in the streets. It's fair to say no media reaction is definitely interesting. I don't see it. I'm not seeing the mass overreaction of the media. I wonder why that is. I'm not sure, actually. That sounded like I knew, but I don't. Other than that, you got to put the attention on what you need to put on for the narrative, right? You don't have communists. You have domestic terrorists in the country. You have Trump and those people. They don't care about democracy. They're the ones ending democracy, not these guys, not the ones who want to take from the rich and give to the poor. Don't you know that doesn't ever work? Don't you know that it's pretty much already communism or whatever, socialism in so much parts of America? And it just doesn't work. Maybe I don't have all the smart stuff, the stats, but the spirit does not lie. 99% of people are helping in the wrong way, and you are helping really just your own ego and hurting who you think you're helping. Take it all the way from homeless, big stuff in the country to your individual life. Tell me where I'm wrong. So these are the things on my mind. We're looking at this. And you know what else? There's other leftist stuff happening. And we're going to South America for this. We're going to South America for this. They say, some people ask, what's your evidence? Some people ask sometimes, what's your evidence? They'll say, what evidence do you have? That I don't know, race mixing or something. Race mixing is bad. Now what evidence, you could say all the things you want to say about it. But tell me, what concrete evidence do you really have that race mixing maybe produces less than favorable results? You're looking at a picture of the continent of South America, and I'm just playing around. I'm just messing around. We love the South Americans. I'm a product of the Espanol and I'm a zero evidence. Can I show you Exhibit A, South America? We're playing around, okay? I'm just joking. I'm a product, though. A mixture of some Espanol and some indigenous malice. Maybe I'm messing around. Look, we're talking about South America because they're having this guy, Nicolas Maduro. CNN is informing us of what you need to know for July 29th. And the Venezuelan president and their elections over there, okay? Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his political opponents both claim to have won the presidential election on Monday, and the U.S. and multiple regional nations voiced skepticism about official results. Hey, it's not on the up and up, they're saying. With 80% of votes counted, Maduro won more than 51% of the vote, besting the Democratic Unitary Platform candidate Edmundo González Urrutia. I don't know if that's how you say his last name. Who gained more than 44%, according to a statement by the National Electoral Council. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said their candidate González had received 70% of the vote against Maduro's 30%. If Maduro takes office, it will be for a third consecutive 6-year term. His Excellency. Maduro ruling Venezuela since like 2013. What is he, a dictator? What is he, like a Putin? Don't we do a lot of business with Venezuela and South America and oil? Hey, you can look into that. I might myself. But we're talking about Maduro, and I find it interesting for a number of things. For the questions that are coming up over there, the skepticism and the instability of the region. And you got to understand what that might mean. You may have even heard this brought up. I'm going to leave that for later. Trump brought up something about this, and I got something for you on that. But we're going to Venezuela for a moment. Keeping in mind the communists marching in America, will they continue to march in Venezuela? They say it's a huge mess, and I know Venezuela went through some pretty nasty stuff recently, no? Devaluation of their money, inflation, pretty major stuff where it had masses of people pouring over the border into Colombia and otherwise, and even further up. You know how it goes, right? It's not just the neighboring countries. They got a dream. They got an American dream, some of these people. So they're having a fight. They're saying it's not on the up and up, that Nicolas Maduro did not win this election. The leftists, they're saying it's that he's claiming a win, but it's really a stolen, they're saying, over there in Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro. You know, I talk about you wouldn't have thought that this was a chance to talk about the Chateau Marmont. But any chance I get. Yes, I worked at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles, and I had some Mexicans working there. We worked together. They knew I was a Trump supporter. They called me, that was my nickname actually, some of the time. Nicolas Maduro, they'd call me. And I never really understood. My understanding of it in my head is that they thought maybe I was like a Trump, so they saw me as a Trump supporter. And so it's like, okay, this guy's like some kind of militant racist guy, and he's all militant and racist or whatever, kind of like this militant guy over there in Venezuela. And his name is Nicolas, so let's just call him Nicolas Maduro. I think that's how far it went for them. Nicolas Maduro. And so I think that's as far as it went in their minds. And he's keeping it. He's keeping the power, maybe 3 terms. A little more on here's a little more on the opposition, on the concerns, namely from the U.S. and others. CNN reports U.S. voices serious concerns over this opposition claim. Both Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, he is the president, right? He's the incumbent and all that. And his political opponent claimed victory. The United States and multiple global leaders voiced skepticism about official results, handing presidential election victory to the strongman leader. Claims of election irregularities started to emerge on Sunday evening as the votes were being counted. You see, how do you figure there is fraud in an election? How do you figure, or at least have evidence of a possibility of these things happening? Well, namely, one of them is irregularities in the data, because these elections happen on cycles, and there are markers to these things. You got to understand there are data markers. And at least according to some in the U.S. government, there were some irregularities in the data. You understand? And this is enough to have some questions. Well, how else can I put it, folks? This is enough to have some questions. So that's the U.S. for you there. And other global leaders. The U.S. Department of State raised concerns last year about what it said were ongoing efforts to remake the composition of the body. And so that's a little on Maduro and our own government there. Leftism, I don't know how it's going to go down there in South America, but you got to understand, like, the corruption, the corruption of some of these people, like, the corruption of some of these, like, as nice as some of them may be, and I'm sure some of them are good people and all that, as Trump once said, their countries are a mess. Their countries are an absolute mess. Corruption, murders of political officials, and otherwise murders and jailing of candidates. This is the climate they live in. And I don't know if your average Venezuelan or Colombian or voter over there would agree with me in this. They definitely don't like it when I say it, but you can't just be like, oh, it's just so corrupt here, is what I hear. I'll speak to the Mexicans. I'll speak to the Venezuelans, to the Salvadorians pretending to be Colombians. No, I'm just joking. And they'll say, oh, it's just so corrupt in our country. It's just so corrupt over there. It's just our government, but it's not just government. Just to do business. Let's say you're a person who wants to do business and wants to open up your own business. You got to grease the wheels, and you got to be a little corrupt yourself, in a sense. Now, I'm not going to judge the father or the individual who opens up a business in that way. You know, sometimes you got to be as what's it called? As what does it say in the Bible? Like a serpent. I mean, you're among it. You got to do what you got to do. But what I'm trying to describe here is the corruption is not just in the government. It's in the business. It's in your daily life. It's in the thinking. It's in the people. You understand? You don't just have a country. You don't just have a country. It's just, oh, how did this happen? Where murder, corruption, jailing, and killing of political yeah, I tried telling you guys everything. Look, you guys are didn't I say earlier I'm a product of something? Anyways, look, hey, we're just messing around, right? JK in the chat. I'm a product of something. But I'm talking about it's not just in the government, right? Like you don't just have a country where you have all these political murders and otherwise. Hey, I can take it. We can tick boxes. Hey, let's talk about it. What was I saying? Yeah, you don't just have a country like that. Okay? So I wanted to make that point. Also, billionaires, communists on the mind right now. We're talking about ideologies. How can you not see the value of these billionaires? The people that create value. You know what's so funny about this? I don't know. Maybe the thinking is like Robin in the Hood, rich people, fat. You're fat and greedy. But also, maybe that's true, probably a lot. But also, I bet you just as much, if maybe not more. I really don't know. But if I'm speaking anecdotally, I might have to say just as much. And what I'm about to say is that these people with money have parts of their character that allows them to have that kind of stuff. They can create that value because they have a character of responsibility, a character of self-control, even like morally positive things. There's a reason why you have money. Is that shallow? I'm not telling you to worship it. But I gotta say, some of the people I'm thinking of, the reason they have money is because they don't worship money. They understand it. Is that making some sense? So, there's a value. They're different, and they create value. So you got to look at the hate, blame, and victimhood with a different view here, as opposed to you look at the homeless person, you look at a rich person, you're like, "Ooh, there's something wrong here." No, that's the wrong view. You got to look past a little bit. Don't be so shallow. The hungry homeless person is hungry because he wants to be. And the weakest and worst of us, when we put them above us, we make weakness and immorality and bad things, so to speak, we make those ideals. And that leads us, it guides us. That's why that's the only way to look at this in a sane way, because otherwise you can't explain Karen Bass and people building new apartments for homeless people who are just going to ruin it, etc. You can't explain this otherwise. It's because society put them, we put them up there like that. So, things on my mind. You know what else came to mind? Speaking of South American communism and South American violence, there's just nothing like it. Venezuela. This guy, Nicolas Maduro, his predecessor was the man who created the party he's running for. The what's it called? The Bolivarian government. The Bolivarian Revolution led by Hugo Chavez. You know that name? Anybody know? Hugo Chavez. Revolution. Left-wing revolution. Left-wing populism? Is what Wikipedia says. Is this a national socialist? What is this? Left-wing Look, whatever. I'm talking about Hugo Chavez. He's the guy who started the party that Nicolas Maduro is in. And he is an interesting person. Here he is singing in 2005 to the United Nations. Look at this. Look at this guy. How can you hate communism or think it's bad or leftism or socialism or whatever? You just look at this.
Seamos un tilín mejores y un poco menos egoístas. Saludos. Muchas gracias, presidente.
Muchas gracias. Let's be a little less selfish. Hugo Chavez sings. So let's be a little bit better. Dun, 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 dun. That's his little guitar. And from now on, that's my little guitar. Dun, 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 dun. Seamos un poquito menos egoístas. Right? Let's be a little less selfish. He says, let's love the world. Let's... is the vibe, right? Hugo Chavez, he says this in 2005. And this was like a year before the famous devil speech, right? He went before the UN and basically called Bush the devil, okay? Going on, quoting a Cuban revolutionary song where he called Bush the devil. George Bush. And I'm showing you this because I wanted to show you Hugo Chavez singing with his guitar. I just like that for some reason.
Could talk.
And just a little bit on just the world stage, globalism, nationalism, communism. These are just words I'm just saying. Maybe I should have something to say about them. But look at this little report from RT back in the day. This is years ago. And then we'll move on if you're getting bored of this. But on the UN and the UN Assembly, how it happens every year, and basically the big like show that it is. It's just a big show, and you're just trying to get attention, political marks. It's like a big pageant show. What do I call it? Like America's Next, the Globe's Next, political leaders, and they get an attention. You understand what I'm saying here? And it's like a big globalist show. And maybe this will make more sense if you watch it with me a little bit. Just a little bit about our world.
Top wow factor and center stage drama would be their story. Every year for about 10 days, the United Nations becomes a mecca for world leaders. From the confrontational to the surprising to the outright wacky, the UNGA pilgrimage never fails to impress. What happens right here becomes a mirror image of what an engaging game politics can be. Over 190 members make up the General Assembly. To get attention, leaders have to get creative.
If you want a lot of attention, you could try to like streak the United Nations. Nobody's done that yet. Nobody's come in butt naked with a goat on their back. I mean, so far none of this has happened, but I wouldn't rule it out in the future.
That's one of few tricks that have not been performed here yet.
I think the one that I remember the most, I mean, there was Gaddafi, who I guess will never be back here again, so it becomes memorable. It's a collector's item now, his long speech and tearing up the UN Charter and falling asleep.
We are just like a decor. You are made like a decor. You are like a Hyde Park. It should not be called the Security Council, it should be called the Terror Council.
The record holder for speech length, an Indian envoy in the 50s.
Nobody remembers what he said, but they remember that he went on for 8.5 hours.
Exhausted, the diplomat collapsed at the podium, only to return and carry on.
The UN is really it's owned by its member states, so it's not really anyone's role to, be Kanye West.
I mean, are you following so far? You see that lower third? Palestinian status bid, latest act in theater of global gathering. It's been going on, folks.
So it's not really anyone's role to, be Kanye West and to grab, you gotta, when they're up there, they can go as long as they want.
They can also say whatever they want, and accusations often go flying towards the U.S.
Yesterday, the devil came here. Right here.
En este mismo lugar.
Right here. And it smells of sulfur still today.
And from the U.S.
The greatest obstacle to this future is that your rulers have chosen to deny you liberty.
And the media obsessed with
whatever, Bush. We're coming to. He's the liberator, right, Bush? We're coming to liberate y'all. Don't worry. They will cheer us on as liberators, right? That's not what happened. I'm talking about America exporting democracy in the Middle East and otherwise.
Creating legends out of these performances. From chicly clad Carla Bruni becoming a headliner for the simple act of showing up, to Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev allegedly banging his shoe against the podium.
A grave for colonial slavery. It should be buried. The deeper, the better.
Half a century later, the story is rumored to be a favorite among tourists visiting the UN. The Soviet leader's son says the episode is a legend, as the shoe banging was never captured on video.
It shows the power of the media, of the TV. This means how powerful now the propaganda, that you can believe in many things that never happened.
To showcase word as deed, officials pull out so-called facts, spying accusations backed up by a wooden seal, the need to invade Iraq by non-existent weapons of mass destruction.
What we're giving you are facts and conclusions based on solid intelligence.
The key players come and go.
It's like a football game.
COINTELPRO.
It was you have the fan from one side, another side, and they're just trying to support your team and booing the opposite team.
With a fierceness clearly not foreign to this international political stage, drama, year after year, is the #1 guest to RSVP. Anastasia Churkina, RT, New York.
Isn't that kind of interesting? Just a little blast from the years ago, like just a little bit on our world. I mean, I'm sure a lot of this isn't surprising, but just to see it, especially for some of us still getting deeper in the know, etc. You know what I mean? Like a little bit on all that, huh? Dum 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 dum. Right? You know what I mean? 888-775-3773. Do appreciate the support there. Let me just pull that up. Thank you. What's up, Cleaner Mildew Grew? Very nice over there on Rumble. Doing that double up. We got super chats. Let me pull it up real quick. Hold on. Appreciate the patience because I had someone super chatting me here. And you can super chat the Anchor Baby here on YouTube. You can buy him a coffee. buymeacoffee.com/Anchor Baby. And we do appreciate Birdie Bound Brian with that very generous donation. Thank you so much. Real quick, Freedom Music. Appreciate the super chat, says Dark MAGA Mode. We need the laser eyes, huh? We're going Dark MAGA. What's Dark MAGA? And so that's that, right? Seamos un tilín mejores, says the communists. They will save you. They'll help you. Help yourself? What do you mean? What are you talking about, help yourself? You can't help yourself. You need our help. You need mama's help. Let's move on, shall we? Where's my show? Where did I put my show? Where's my show? I feel like I should have like an old guy voice or something. Like, where's my document? I can't find it. Give me a second, folks. We're looking up for the document. We need the show. We're moving on. Venezuela. You know, on this, not exactly quite moving on. This all comes... Another question comes up, an important one. Considering a little piece of info. Oh, thank you, Lin Yan Chin. Thank you so much. Nice little super chat there. Says, 𝒏𝒂𝒎. And I know he's talking about the 𝒏𝒂𝒎 browse. 𝒏𝒂𝒎 browse. You got to know. You got to know. How do you not know what I'm saying? 𝒏𝒂𝒎 browse. And we do appreciate Lin Yan Chin for the super chat there. Sparkle blouse. A little piece of information given to us, mentioned in the midst of our excitement, if you remember, given to us by Trump. You know, he mentioned something interesting, if you remember. Was it during his debate, or was it, I forget when, but you hear about some of these South American countries. No, you've heard about Venezuela now a bit. El Salvador, you heard that name? Bukele? Bukele. The young cryptoed up and memed up young leader of Salvador, El Salvador, cleaning it all up. You heard of this? They got him in jails. They got him all in lines. They're all little. They're all like little and brown with like tats everywhere. You know, cartel. And they got him lined up. They're on their knees. They're doing jumping jacks. They're doing push-ups. They're in boot camp, and it's all because of the crimes, right? Their crimes, their affiliation and all that with these cartels and the out-of-control murder rates in these countries. Now we're seeing Venezuela, apparently, has the lowest murder rate ever right now. And that's according to Dr. Phil. I have a little clip for you. Dr. Phil talking to an interesting person. Let me play for you this little clip, okay? Talking about all this. Let me show you Dr. Phil. Venezuela. Speaking to this man about where are these criminals going. Let's watch.
Venezuela, by the way, has the lowest murder rate ever right now. What does that tell you?
Yeah, all the murderers are gone.
They're here.
Yeah. So is it true that they're emptying prisons? I mean, is this not Cuba all over again?
This is not a hearsay. There was a memo by DHS last year admitting that, in fact, they knew that Venezuela's government was emptying their prison and rehabilitation centers or drug centers, releasing them on purpose because they knew with instructions to make, if you were going to get out, you're going to make your way to the U.S. That is not, we're not making that up. That's true. It was reported on, and DHS admitted that was happening. And in fact, it has. El Tren de Aragua is heavily present in our country now.
Okay, so you're telling me that DHS has acknowledged that Venezuela, for example, is emptying their prisons and their rehabilitation centers with the understanding you get out if you leave here and go to the United States.
Yes.
And DHS has, in writing, said, we know that's happening. We know they're coming here. We're processing them in and have no idea where they are.
Correct.
How many people are we talking about?
Millions. And just Venezuela alone.
We're talking about in the last 2 or 3 years, we've had estimated how many people have come across the border.
My estimation, the official number, I think, is about 10 million.
Yeah, it's about 10, 11 million.
Yeah,
that's the official.
But my personal opinion, I think we're about 15 to 18 million.
He said, my opinion, 15 to 18 million. Now, I got to say something here. On these reports here, we got to do at least a little work here and be a little accurate. As much as we want to say they're sending over their prisoners, Dr. Phil was covering his bases there and making sure what that guy was claiming. And call it experience, call it whatever you want, but the anchor baby knows a little bit about. Look, these people, shameless Hispanic claims. Hey, it's inaccurate. Call it inaccurate. But Dr. Phil, you see, he put all those qualifiers. So DHS has in writing a memo where they're saying that the Venezuelan government is releasing these prisoners for the express purpose of sending them this way. Now, with all those qualifiers, Dr. Phil, I don't know if we're gonna find that report. And with the little anchor baby checking up on this, we're getting PolitiFact saying there's no DHS thing on that. Factcheck.org. I know they're liberals, but we got to stay in reality a little bit. Now, if we take off all those qualifiers, I bet you that President Trump and whoever else has been saying this, I don't know if it's really unfounded. And I got to say, it's an interesting thing. Come on, folks. I don't think it's unfounded because it's a matter of it's a matter of like, is it officially sanctioned by the Venezuelans or not? Well, you could still have like this unofficial emptying of these people, and then they make their way somewhere else, right? They're trying to fact check they're trying to fact check this man and the president, right? Factcheck.org. Crime drop in Venezuela does not prove Trump's claim the country is sending criminals to U.S. But the crime is down a staggering 67%. And the crime is down, and the immigration here from those countries is up. So I don't know what to tell you. There's got to be something. Someone's got to look into this, right? But yeah, this guy here, the Hispanic guy on Dr. Phil, a little quick. You know how it is. You know how it is with some of them. Sometimes it's a little quick on the facts. A little too quick before the facts, should I say. Anyways, Kale Samogi, thank you so much. With a super chat says, Nick, we shouldn't do anything about illegal immigrants. Trump should let them in, lay his weapons down, and let God fight the battle. What the? I don't know where you got that from. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know where you would even have heard that. Where would you have even heard anything like that? Nick, we shouldn't do anything about illegal immigrants. That's not what laying your weapons down mean. Man, the government still has a job, right? And their job is to protect the border. Yeah, I never heard that, Kale. I don't know where you would even heard anything remotely close to that. So, thank you for the super chat, sir. Nick, we shouldn't do anything about illegal immigrants. Lay your weapons down. Lay your weapons. Yeah, but the soldiers, you know, our army and our government still has a job. Where were we? We are. They're sending them our way, etc. And I believe that's it on that. On the fact checking and all that. 888-775-3773. You want to speak to the anchor baby here? Whatever's on your mind. Whatever you want to get off your chest. What are you talking about, Carlota? Carlota. Where? Where did that happen? Carlota in my chat says, has Nick already spoken about the mass stabbing of children? Where is that? We're talking mass stabbing. Are we in England? Are we in London? Are we in the UK for this one? But that sounds horrific. Carlota. That sounds horrible. They're just stabbing children. You know, you see that in America, no? That 3-year-old who was stabbed by that crazy black woman. All right. All right. Hugo Chavez. They should listen to Hugo. Let's just be a little bit better. A little less selfish. Let them in. Stop being so selfish. Are you talking about, I mean, since I'm searching it. Is it the Taylor Swift concert one? Southport stabbing near Taylor Swift themed dance class leaves 8 injured. Wait, is this in America? No, England. See, look at this. Southport, England. Southport stabbing took place near a Taylor Swift themed dance class. Was it migrants? I mean, what's special about it, Carlota? Let's move on. You can type in the chat. I'm just wasting time a little bit. 888-775-3773. Appreciate y'all being in the chat. And chatting away. But shall we? Let's get to this communist, huh? Who matters? Who matters more? This one's for the white women, apparently. This video is the intended audience, the white women. Will you listen? This one woman wants you to. And she has a message for you. It's important what you're going to do with your next vote. 2024 in a couple of November. It's very important. It matters more than ever. And let's just watch, huh?
This is a message for every single person who looks like me. Specifically, white women. It's time. This is no longer about politics, and you get to right your wrongs of 2016 when you didn't put a woman in the White House who was overly qualified. Now's your chance. You did not stand behind black women, people of color, immigrant families, differently abled people, none of them. You said, I matter more than you in 2016. Not anymore. You have the chance to again put an overly qualified person in a seat that they absolutely deserve because they are willing to go to bat for you and everyone around you. This is no longer about red versus blue. This is our lives that we are playing with. And the piece that you have control over is who you vote for in November. You need to find a spine to stand up against the white men in your life who are telling you who should be your president. This is not the last thing that I will say on this topic. Obviously, it's just the first, and this is the earliest that I could get online to be able to post this TikTok. But I am so ready because I know for a fact that I would rather live in a season of Veep than a season of Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, okay, so it's the reproductive stuff again. Is that really all that women care about? Is that really? Like, how shallow can you be? What the heck is the problem? Isn't it going back to the States? Abortion? You want abortion that bad? It's so badly. Like, this is can we say that most women are just on this issue? They're just voting on this issue, really. Is that fair to say? What do y'all think? Because if that's true, you know, Kamala Harris isn't just like a ridiculous thing anymore. She's kind of a brat. She's kind of a total brat. And that's why women are going to vote for her. And she's like a shakeup, a brat. And that's why she might be president in 2024. What the heck is going on? She says it's time. It's not about politics. Now, what wrongs? Well, I'm trying to understand what wrongs a voter, a woman voter, would have brought in 2016 that they got to undo. What is that? And who matters more here? What is this language? You didn't stand behind XYZ because you mattered more. So then what are you saying here? You're saying the opposite, so that they matter more. But then why? Who matters more? They're saying, she says, you voted for your own interests. You mattered more, not the disabled and minorities and all the people, she said. Because they matter more, I guess, is what the conclusion to that thought is, no? You're saying they matter more. Now, why? Because they're worse than you? What is the thinking here? Now, I know a little bit of it. I know some of it. I can't be in her mind or her heart. But in general, that's that mentality where you think you're better than these people. And that's why you're speaking in this way. And then she says, for you. You got to vote for someone that's going to fight for you. She's speaking to the white women. Whoa. But I thought they were voting for themselves. But now all of a sudden, so were they using their free agency to vote for themselves in their own self-interest? But then they voted in someone against their self-interest? And now they should vote for someone that'll fight for you, like this woman says? So what changed with the woman before, when she was voting for her self-interest, to now when she's supposed to vote for someone that'll fight for you? Well, the you that this woman in this TikTok is speaking about is the woman, women in general, trying to divide the woman, cleave her from whatever she was identifying with before, I guess, which we shouldn't identify, but they were identifying with what? It was like American stuff, family, Trump, Republican. I don't know what to say, but look, this is that divide and conquer. She says, for you, you got to fight. You got to get someone that'll vouch for you, the women, as opposed to you, just like the individual, the American, the divide and conquer. Whatever spirit is working through this person, that's what it wants to do. Whatever is working through that person on TikTok. Because you absolutely deserve someone that'll bat for you. And you have to stand up against the man. The only way to get your freedom and do the right thing is to go against the man. Against the white men, she says. Against the to stand up against the men in your lives, the white men in your lives. You have to go against the man. So to do the right thing, you got to go against the man. You have to go against the common sense. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to him. Or else it's going to be Handmaid's Tale, they say. They say it's going to be Handmaid's Tale, which is what? Forced pregnancy? What? Can we get a summary on that? I've never watched it. What's the whole thing on that again, chat? Someone help me up. When they say Handmaid's Tale, they're saying like forced women being subservient to men and like being forced to be pregnant. What is that again? I know it's a movie. I know, but what's the like? Give me the Cliff Notes on the. Give me the ChatGPT summary on that. In what they're trying to say, what they mean. I know y'all are smart. In the chat, 888-775-3773. I saw your call coming in. Yeah, call me back. I'm sure they'll pick your call up. That's when literally no one could get pregnant, and they were still crying about having to reproduce for the human race. Oh, is that what that is? So in Handmaid's Tale, let's ask ChatGPT, what's so bad about Handmaid's Tale? Huh, ChatGPT? Like, what's so bad about Handmaid's Tale? ChatGPT says, disturbing content. The novel depicts a dystopian society where women are stripped of their rights. They want that. They love that. And used as reproductive vessels. I'm joking. The portrayal of sexual violence, oppression, and subjugation can be deeply unsettling. Well, we don't want any violence here. We're not trying to do that. Feminist critique. Some feminists argue that the novel's depiction of women's oppression is exaggerated or unrealistic. Really? What is so bad? Okay, do the right thing. It's the whole baby machine thing, huh? This is, we want agency. We want the freedom to have babies when we decide. But don't, ladies, then it'll never happen. I'm joking. I don't know what I'm saying with that one, actually. I got Frederick on the line. Appreciate your call, sir.
What's going on? What's going on, Nick?
All is well, sir. Appreciate your call.
Thanks for taking my call. What you think about this? What you thinking? The women got the power now? Are y'all getting scared or what?
Am I thinking that? That women have the power? Depends on who you ask. It seems like they might have the power in some respects. I don't know if I'd call it that.
The vote?
Say again?
Because the vote, if the women turn out and abortion's on the ticket and the white guilt's on the ticket and they're not going with America first as, most people like to feel, it becomes a split in society to whereas it naturally returns back to itself. And maybe
what returns back to
a
itself?
black woman is closer to the order of things. I don't know.
And what returns back to itself?
The history repeating itself, the order and balance. Like the women will choose the alpha male once they get in charge, and then they choose what type of man that they want. They're going to choose the alpha man, but the women are going to come together it looks like they coming together quicker than the males are. So whatever men the women that come together choose are going to be the ones running the planet. So I don't know what side y'all on, but it's looking good. But anyway,
I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you saying you'd follow a woman?
I know.
Is that what you're saying? All I'm hearing is, I can't wait to follow women. That's all I'm hearing so far.
No, all you
and they're gonna pick me.
Black woman.
All I'm hearing so far is
a black woman.
I'd like to comment on the black woman comment as well, but all I'm hearing so far is, I can't wait to follow women, and I'm gonna be that good boy they choose. I'm that good boy, Nick. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what side you're gonna be, but I'm that good boy. And the ladies, once they rule, they'll choose me. I'm gonna be a good boy. That's all I hear so far.
The presidents are puppets, and there's men running the president. So don't act like she's going to be the president. There's men running the puppets. Don't act like both parties not puppets.
I'm not following. I thought you were saying women are taking over. So you're admitting that women are not taking over? So you're actually, are you going against what you opened up with? You're saying, actually, Nick, I don't believe what I just said. It's not women in charge. It's really the men in charge that are they're just puppets. I agree. You fell away from your own point really fast, but go ahead.
No, I didn't. You, J.D. Vance, and the Christian Jews are going against the sensible women, and y'all gonna have a black woman against Trump. And if he loses to a black woman, that's disgraceful to a man like Trump. And it's possible. You just said it's possible.
Why would it be disgraceful? I thought you welcomed the women and that they're great and that the natural order is a black woman leading. Why would it be disgraceful?
For a party that not think women should be in politics to get beat by a woman, that is disgraceful. Your whole ideology would be disgraceful.
Why would it be disgraceful? I thought you said women should lead, that the natural, we're returning to something natural, a black woman.
I'm saying, what side are you on? Say what side you're on, Nick.
What are you talking about?
What side are you on? How do you feel about women in politics?
What are you asking me? What side are you asking me?
How do you feel about women in politics?
Looks weird.
In politics, Nick.
Yeah, it looks weird. Usually the wrong place. Yep.
Thank you. So let's see how it goes. That's all I'm saying.
But
And
isn't that
anyway,
interesting
I'm
that you called in?
international.
Isn't that interesting? You were
No,
like,
no,
the
no,
natural
no,
order.
no.
It's the returning to black women. It's going to be great. I'm going to be a little good boy when they're leading. But then a little bit of pushback. You're like, they're not really leading. It's the men and the puppets, and they're really leading stuff. What do you think about that?
It's the order. The order thing is black man, black woman. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know what nationality after that, but it's returning back to the order of things. Like the people will put like your subconscious that's been ruled under such and seen greatness like that. They actually gonna vote.
Whoa, bro.
It's like God's plan. It's nothing we can do about it.
Whoa, bro.
You know what I mean?
Are you on that weird side that is scared of women in power? Because you're sounding like one of them. You're saying the natural order is the black man, then the black woman. You're sounding like one of those people that is afraid of women, Frederick. What do you think about that?
No, I'm thinking the more white guilt that's coming along in the country. They're voting.
No, but what do you think about that?
president.
What do you think about what I just? Then I'll let you say that. What do you think about that? You came in,
It's the total opposite.
and now the turntables have turned, and now it is you who is saying the women shouldn't lead. That the natural order is the black man above the black woman. You're sounding like one of those afraid of women person.
No,
What do you think about that?
No.
No? How do you not sound like that? Where am I wrong?
Anytime it's God's plan. I don't.
No. Where am I wrong in what I said? Then we can talk about God's plan and whatever else you're saying.
You can't let nobody talk. That's why that dude with mouth that sound like Boomenhard.
Because you're slippery.
The dude,
and you know what?
The dude that sound like Boomenhard gets mad because you cut people off when you get mad. I understand it's a complex you have, but you got to talk while other people's talking, and because you're frustrated. So go ahead and say what you got to say.
Not frustrated. You're actually right about this. Slowing down is an important thing to do. I do interrupt you, man. But the guy you're talking about and yourself, quite slippery people, and you guys don't like it when I try and pin you down. And if anything, there's a lot of frustration coming from you guys. But we can totally slow down. We have time here. I don't need to interrupt you, sir. It's just excitement, man. And especially with you, because I try and pin you down. Because isn't that funny, man? Isn't that funny that you were like, oh, you guys are scared of women in power. And then now all of a sudden you're saying the black man is above the black woman. You still haven't responded to that.
I said it's returning back to the balance and order. Returning is not returned. I said returning. So don't put
the
words
natural order
in my mouth like this is it and we're going to follow the woman. That's not what I'm saying. I said it's returning back to the order of things, how they're supposed to be.
And what's
maybe.
the order of things?
I'm saying maybe.
And what's
this
the
is
order?
all my opinion. Quit acting like what I say.
No. I'm asking you. I'm literally asking you. You just haven't responded yet.
Well, I'm explaining. Thank you for
And what is the
explain.
order? Go ahead. We're waiting on that.
I already explained it.
You have
Whatever
not
order
expressed
ends
the
up
order yet. And it's funny that you have to say whatever order because you know you haven't expressed the order yet. So what order are you talking about? We're still waiting for you to answer. Describe this order you're talking about. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
When society first started, what was the order of the first civilization?
Is it in this order? Is the black woman ahead, or is the black man on top?
Black man was the patriarch. Black men.
Say it a little louder. You lilted. You lilted
I'm
saying
talking
that.
about history
Frederick,
repeating itself.
you said a word, but you lilted. Say you went away from the
No,
mic
I'm
like you were.
trying to-
Say it
I'm
again for
trying
the
to-
people in the
I'm
back.
trying
The
to-
black man was the what? The what?
Pharaoh.
No, the patriarch. You said the patriarch, the leader. That's the order you're describing, right?
Yeah, it came from probably
Interesting.
Pharaoh.
So where
What about
are we wrong? Where are we afraid of women and all that? It sounds like you agree.
No, I'm saying it's returning to the order. Y'all don't think women should be in Congress and you become what you hate. Y'all are angry women right now because it sounds like all y'all do is complain. But what I'm trying
And
to
what
tell
am I
you
complaining
is,
about that I'm wrong? Can you be more specific? Let's get to stuff, Frederick. Come on.
the
Don't talk
people
around
that's
stuff. Let's get to it.
The people that's overseas is turning left. The parties is, you know what I'm saying, going with the left. They're out voting the right. It's like Benjamin Netanyahu coming over here kissing Biden's butt. It's like, we know what it is, man. You can see the politics playing out. Why do y'all
you're going
still
I don't know where you're
argue
going with
amongst each
that,
other?
but I mean, if you ask me, if you ask me, you can explain it. Sorry, what was that? Go ahead.
Here we go.
No, I missed what you said. Go ahead.
You fall to the plan of them divide and conquer. You still arguing and picking point now. What they doing and what this is doing.
What point, Frederick, what
Find
point?
anything about left and right.
Don't go
that's
anything.
dividing.
Pick one. Pick one, Frederick. You said anything left and right. Pick one. Come on. Help me out
All
here,
right,
man.
let's talk about Israel, Putin,
Okay.
the big three. You believe in the?
We're
in the
moving
tre-
on
in
from
the-
what you
in
were
the-
saying, by the way, just to be clear, folks, because it was good. I mean, sure, maybe
Do
I
you
should be.
believe
I
in
should be.
Benjamin
I should. We'll get.
Netanyahu,
Don't worry.
Trump, and
I'll let
Putin?
you say what you want to say, but just want to make it clear to the folks that we could definitely be going harder here. He came in with a topic and then totally flipped on his own topic and has been trying to do somersaults this whole time on the black man and the black woman in the order, trying to make us seem like we're crazy and afraid of women, and he thinks the same thing. But okay, go ahead.
No, I
Benjamin
didn't say
Netanyahu
that.
in Israel. Go ahead.
I'm saying the black woman is above the white man and is returning back to the natural order thing. So I don't see how I'm flipping on
Well,
anything.
thank you.
If
Well,
the
now
black
you've made
man
it
is on
even
top of the
clearer how
black
you really
woman-
feel. The,
Yeah,
the loving
it's the
Pharaoh.
order thing. That's
The
how-
loving Pharaoh.
if you
Can't wait
look
for
at the
slavery.
past,
Here's
I'm
the funny
talking
thing.
about history.
Here's the funny thing
I'm
about the
talking
loving
about history,
Pharaoh.
Nick.
And we'll get to
Do you
Benjamin.
know what history is?
I'll let you talk about Israel, whatever. But here's the funny thing about the
History.
loving
I'm not
Pharaoh,
talking
folks.
about Israel.
Yeah.
I'm talking about history.
Wait, hold on, Frederick. I'm saying something, man. Don't you hear me saying something?
You're lost, though.
Frederick.
You're lost in the sauce.
But we're not lost as we're having a conversation, but you just got to hold on. You don't have to
Okay, let
confuse
me-
things. Why you got to be a
okay,
communist
I done
about it?
said it already.
Right,
I'm talking
Frederick?
about history
So let me say
repeating
something
itself.
here, Frederick. So I was just saying, let me just put him on hold real quick. Because he's now I'm all confused. What the heck was I saying? Friggin', what were you saying, Frederick? See, this is what you do.
You don't know what you were saying, Nick.
If you remind me,
That's what's sad. You
I'll
don't
be
know what
right back in it, and that was a good point. What
no,
were you just saying?
you won't. No, you don't even have a point. You
Yeah,
don't
I
even
do.
know what you were
You don't
saying.
even know?
You were trying to put words
Why are you
in
being
my
rude?
mouth, and I proved
What were you just
wrong,
saying? Oh
so
yeah.
now you
What
don't.
words did I try and put in your mouth?
I'm not going to give you the bone you need to run off.
No,
and
I'm
put
not
me
running
back
off.
on hold
Who's
to
running?
act
You've
like
been
you
on me
gotta
this
do.
whole with me this
You
whole
are-
time.
If your brain should be able to hold a thought longer than that. Come on now, Nick.
Now you're being rude.
Save
Come on, man.
yourself.
Why are you
Throw
being
yourself
rude?
a line.
Oh, come on. Now you're just playing around.
Throw yourself a line.
Come on,
Come
you
on,
don't-
Nick.
No, you do it.
Your
I'm asking you.
IQ's higher than mine, Nick. Come on.
That's not a point. Come on.
Come on, Nick.
We were having a conversation. Why you got to do this? It was a good point. But
I'm
whatever.
doing it.
It
You
was
forget
about-
what you were
it
saying.
was about
and I'm
what?
doing something
Do you
want
wanna
to
have this
now.
conversation or
What a
not?
victim. What a victim.
Do you want to have this conversation or not? What were you talking about?
I was saying
Oh, yeah,
the
the
black
loving
woman's
Pharaoh.
above the
That's
white
where I
man.
was.
The
Let me-
black woman is
Let me put him on hold. The loving Pharaoh. See, isn't this so funny? Is about the loving Pharaoh. He comes in here. He's like love. He's like, oh, I get you guys. We get each other on this point. But here he reveals himself, folks. He's here. He can't wait for slavery. He can't wait to enslave the white man and the white woman. Is salivating over it. And you know what? You know what's even funnier about that is the loving Pharaoh is sitting here thinking, when this new world comes in, I'm gonna be the king of it. Isn't that such a common communist thing? When this new world comes in, I'll be on top of it. Frederick, you've never been on top of anything. What do you got to say about that?
Chinese just found the Chinese are helping the blacks over in Africa. They got like 50,000 people, Chinese in like 10 different countries. But they just found $12 trillion worth of gold deposits in Uganda. And they're going to help them mine it and give the... Well, how come the United States never helped colonize Africa like the Chinese are about to do? Why
Maybe
does
they
it
weren't
take foreign countries like China to come in?
Wait, you asked
and
me a question
colonize?
already. Can I answer the first one? I don't have an answer. I just want to make a joke. Maybe they weren't as enterprising as the Chinese. Why aren't the pharaohs and the blacks or whoever you identify with, why aren't they doing what you're talking about?
Because they've been
answer
getting
that.
taken advantage of by the Anglo-Saxons for the last 500 years. That's why the blacks ain't even been in a position to go back and take care of their people because they been getting bird fed in America. So now the Chinese gonna go do it. Now the
Frederick,
Chinese
that happened to
gonna
you?
do it.
That happened
and
to you,
they're gonna
Frederick?
give us reparations.
That happened to you, Frederick?
Oh, what happened to me?
Are you held down in this way?
Yeah, that happened to my parents.
No,
Yeah,
you.
they
I'm talking
had,
about you, Frederick.
White people. Listen. They had,
Sorry, my
yes,
bad.
it happened to me. They had white people coming down to Arkansas paying $5 to get Indian heritage and become an Indian to get land on a reservation and tax money. And it's called a $5 Indian. You can look it up. And the Dawes Roll still shows where all of these white people just had to have $5 and they can become Indian. Even to this day, there's so many white Indians are marked as Native Americans on the Dawes Rolls. Check it out. They paid $5, and that stole a lot of resources from the black people that was mixed with Native Americans that came from the Arkansas territory that wasn't under the slave land. Look it up. A lot of Arkansas territory was never under slave land or slave rule. It was Indian territory. But when the whites came, paid $5, they stole all their land and built reservations in Arkansas and left the blacks to live with nothing. So yeah, I'm a victim
I might
of
look that up.
They
I
had
might
to
look
move
that
to
up, Frederick.
Kentucky.
I might look that up, Frederick.
Yeah,
you know, if you send it
not
to
a
me,
problem.
I'm way, way, way more likely to look at it. In fact, like 90% more likely to look at it if you send stuff to me. So don't hesitate.
Yeah, they white folks, but they're not Europeans.
But you hear me, Frederick? Don't hesitate. Send it to me. I'm way more likely to look at it. But so, Frederick,
You
can you
Google
describe
it right
to me?
now, and then you can find it.
I know, but I might
But
forget,
it's no
and I'll
big
go
deal.
otherwise. But I'll do
I
what I can.
I know. You ain't got that time.
Email me
But
though.
it's all
I
good.
see every email. I sincerely do. But
okay, for sure.
And but on that, like Frederick, can you describe maybe to the people listening, because maybe people don't know what it's like to live an oppressed life like that, and just be so oppressed and have such a just to be so held back like that. Can you describe to the people what's that like for your life being held back? How are you held back and all that? Because you're this held back person, right? You're like weak. You're like weak, and you need help, right? That's what you're telling me. And you need help, right? You need help, and you're weak, and you need help because you've been oppressed. Can you describe that life for the people? Is that you? Am I describing you?
Jittery you sound.
Am I describing you correctly, Frederick, or no?
Because you need help, and you need help, and you just, come
Frederick,
on. Man,
am I
calm
describing
down.
you correctly?
Calm down.
No.
Calm
You
down.
said you were held back by
no.
all this, right? No, am I wrong or no?
No, I'm
you said
talking
yes.
about
You
the
said
wealth
yes. My
disparity,
parents,
the
etc.
wealth gap.
We were all held back.
Do you agree?
So tell us.
That there's a wealth gap.
Tell us.
Do you agree that there's a wealth gap in America, Nick?
I don't know what that means.
Hello?
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what a wealth gap is? Bye. See, now
No. Wait, I was asking you a
You're
question.
bad faith.
No.
You're talking in bad faith.
How am I talking in bad faith?
Gap disparity is. You're talking.
You can describe it. We can talk about it. But why won't you answer my question first?
No. You know what it is.
Let's get to it. But why won't you answer my question first?
What did you ask?
Well, you're telling us how oppressed and held back you are. I want you to describe to the people this. You're living a hard life. You're like weak. You need help.
I didn't say I was. I said
you don't?
my parents. I said we're suffering from it. We're still suffering from it today. The wealth gap disparity.
So you're
you don't
suffering.
know what that is?
Yeah, I want you to describe the suffering you're going through for the people.
Because
you're like weak. You're like weak, and you need help, and you're suffering.
Listen,
Is that you?
Nick, if you want to listen and quit being scary, the
I'm
top
asking you.
1% of Americans own 70% of the wealth in America.
What? That's not an answer to
You
what I
see
was
how that
asking.
works?
That's not an answer to what I was asking. I want you to tell us how tough your life is, and
Only because of,
and how much help you need, and because that's you, right? You're describing yourself. Unless you want to use this time to tell us that's not you. Unless you want to use this moment to tell us that that's not your life and that's not you. Frederick's a strong individual who handles his own stuff. Is that true? Is Frederick the type of is Frederick the type of guy? Just for time. Is Frederick the type of guy?
No,
is
they're
he the
going
type
to
of
talk
guy?
over people because of time.
No, but I've answered all your questions. No, I haven't forgotten what you said about
I'm
the wealth
answering
gap.
yours
Have I
and you
not
won't
been
let me
nice?
talk.
Frederick, come on.
I'm trying to answer your question.
Give me a grade. Come on, this is a B plus.
I'm trying to
this
answer
is
your
practically an A in how I'm treating you. No,
I'm doing better than 80% of whites, and y'all had a 400-year head start.
Well,
there you go.
You're doing
Yeah.
pretty well.
Y'all
then.
had a 400-year head start, and
Okay,
I'm
so
doing
Frederick,
better
what
than
time?
80% of whites.
Just to clear this up, because there's people in the chat there's people in the audience who are not understanding. They're not clear. Are you this individual who handles his own? You're an individual man. You handle your own stuff, or are you this oppressed, held back person?
Yeah,
And
I handle my own. I'm out here in L.A. by myself, retired, living off my own money. My kids are grown, raised 3 boys, and you have nothing to show for yourself. But I'm over here.
Why you gotta
showing
get mad? Why you gotta get
how
personal with
I
it?
just handle my own 2 feet. I don't have no roommate. I'm living.
Who's the frustrated one now,
100%.
Frederick?
You will say what?
Who's the frustrated one now?
No, I'm saying I live better than 80%. You trying to paint me as a victim? I'm not.
No,
a victim.
you did that. I
I'm
wanted you
saying
to
with
clear it up.
400
I'm glad you
years
cleared it
ahead
up.
start.
You
No,
did that. You did that. I'm just wanted you
saying-
to clear it up because I know Frederick's not that guy. Frederick handles his own business. That's how I know you.
No,
You're the one
what
saying you're a
I'm
victim.
Saying is every black's not like me, Nick, and you being in bad faith character to act like every black is doing as good as me.
Okay. Are you
So
saying
trying
that
to
no?
paint
Are you
me
saying
as a
no? This
picture
is
as a
good.
black that's doing good. Don't do that.
I'm not
Don't
trying to
do that.
paint anything.
That's fake.
I'm not
That's
trying to
fake, dude.
paint
You know
anything,
what you're
Frederick.
doing.
No. On that, Frederick, you got to calm
Well,
down.
when
No,
you
on
see me
no.
come
Wait,
to
hold on,
church-
Frederick, hold on. On that, you got to calm down because I'm not painting anything. If you really
Yeah,
calm
you
down,
are.
no, wait,
Yeah,
no,
you are.
Frederick,
You
I'm
act like I
speaking.
was a
Frederick, I'm
victim at
speaking.
first.
Frederick, I'm speaking.
Okay,
On
you
that,
try to paint me as a victim.
Frederick, you can't say that because I'm using your words. And if anything,
I
if you were
didn't say I was-
Frederick, I'm speaking. If anything, I gave you this platform because I've spoken to you multiple times, and I know you're not this victim person and all that. I gave you the chance to clear that up. So I don't know what you're talking about. I know, like, I'm speaking reality here, and I'm speaking to a Frederick. I'm speaking to an individual. I'm not speaking to a black man. I'm not making up stuff. I'm not assuming stuff. I'm speaking to Frederick, who I've spoken to with multiple times. And so I'm saying the truth here, and you're agreeing with me.
No, I don't know what you're talking
You just
about.
don't like that is the truth here, but you're agreeing with me. You are a individual who does well. You're saying that it's bad faith. And here's where we can get to something good. You're saying it's bad faith for me to say this because other blacks, blah, blah, blah. So tell me, Frederick, what's the difference between you and other blacks? Go ahead.
When you see me, you don't get scared. You don't stereotype other blacks as you stereotype the blacks that y'all label. Well, they all get the same rap because blacks act that way. No, when you see me and Big Bump and Joel, y'all classify as cool and safe black. You don't want us to be
That's not what I saw.
blacks that y'all. Exactly, I know. But then when you get me on the phone, you want to be like, oh, well, he's a victim black. He's this type black. No, in reality,
I don't know what
he's
you're
doing good. He's not that type of black. You want to act like, oh, tell us how you been.
You're not that well.
Yeah.
You kind of got, but you got the lid. You got the lid on. You got the lid on. You're like way darker. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You don't got.
It's all good.
That's you're stealing some of that. Yeah, you stealing some of that light skin privilege, man. That's you stealing that.
Yeah.
I'm messing around, Frederick. But seriously,
I know.
I
a
want
lot of people got
the point
a
here.
long
No, but the
time to
point
go
here is
and a long life ahead of them.
you
They
still
got
haven't
work
told
for
me the
rest of their
difference,
life.
the real
And
difference
they
between you
jealous.
and other blacks. And so far, it's just these superficial
I'm just
things.
saying, if I had to get up and go to work and strive and be hungry out there for money, I'd probably be angry too. But a lot of y'all don't.
I'm not
even
sure what
care
you're even
yourself,
saying
bro.
with that. Now you're just being judgmental and throwing out just vinegar. Look, Frederick, all I wanted to know was the difference between you and other blacks, and why can't they do what you do? You're saying it's because they look different. Well, but you're still just blaming
Everybody ain't got
others.
the same purpose.
And we're just
Nobody
gonna
should
keep
want to
rolling
do what
around in
anybody
circles
else
on that
should do.
one. But please go ahead and finish your statement.
Nobody should have the same purpose. You can't tell somebody how to do what you do. They have to find their own purpose.
So
You
then
know what
why
I'm
do you
saying?
tell
gotta
them
go to school
otherwise?
for some stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say do what I do. It takes some people past.
So then
that.
why
I'm
tell
48
them
years
something
old.
different?
You say what? No, you tell
If
them
you
to
say-
find their purpose in life.
No,
and
but
be
that's not what
happy.
you do. You're saying they're victims.
No,
And
I
you-
do. I find my.
Let me break it down.
every
You
day.
said you can't tell people to do what you do. In that statement, you're agreeing that what you're doing, which is what the blacks are not doing, you're agreeing that is the positive thing to do. That what you're doing, you said in that statement by you saying
I'm
that
not
they
doing. What are
look.
you
Listen,
saying?
let me
What
explain.
You're doing
Let me
is
explain.
What you're
Let me
doing.
explain. No. Let me explain. Don't speak. Let me explain.
Yeah.
Let me explain. No,
You
don't
are
speak.
allowed
Don't
to-
speak. Let me explain. You're saying that you can't just tell someone to do what you should do. In that statement, you are admitting that you believe that what you are doing is the right thing, but you can't tell others to do that. But so then, if that was true, then why is your response to go somewhere else with it instead of telling them nothing? So number one, you can't tell people to do what you do. Okay, fine. Let's assume that's true. Why instead of saying nothing, you tell them something different, like go be a victim? Why is that the conclusion?
I didn't say tell them nothing.
So then why don't you tell them be like
tell
you,
them
a hard
nothing.
worker who did for himself?
No, I never said tell them nothing, but you putting words in my mouth now.
Tell me where I went wrong.
It all depends on the person and what they need to hear is what they need to hear. You tell them what your best advice.
What were you about to say? You tell them what they need to hear is what you were about to say. You were about to say you tell them what they need to hear. Frederick, man.
God, you're a vessel. God
There's no
speaks
life
to
in what you're
people.
saying.
So
It's so
that's
empty.
That's why people come to church to get little morsels of God speaking to us.
There's literally no life in what you're saying. Have you noticed that, Frederick?
There might be somebody out in the crowd that
Frederick, you're saying nothing right now. There's no life in what you're saying. Have you noticed that? Even the words you're saying right now is useless.
Let's talk over Frederick.
They
Let's
come
talk
to
over
church.
your-
Yeah,
let's talk
no.
over
At
your
this point, it's like they come to church
Let's
for
talk
morsels
over
of.
your
You're
guest.
saying nothing, Frederick. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Especially if you're talking over me, you can't hear what I'm saying. Of course I'm saying nothing. Of course I'm saying nothing when you can't hear me, Nick. That's sad. You need to learn some patience and tolerance Read the Dalai
What do y'all
Lama,
think? Come on, chat.
and you will-
This was
and
like
you
a
will- and
this was
you
like a
will-
B.
And you will release.
Come on,
all frustration.
Frederick, be honest. This was like a B. I was just
I'm
like a B
telling
plus.
What?
This is like I let you speak. I caught myself when I'm interrupting and tried my best to stop.
No.
Come
You
on,
forgot
Frederick. This
your
is like a
train
B
of thought
plus.
3 or 4 times. You okay? A B plus. I call it about it. It's not even an average conversation. An average is a C.
I gave you time.
Come on now. This is difficult. Just to even have like.
Well, now you understand how we feel, sir.
God's plan.
Is there a point you want to make? Is there one more point you want to make?
Those that were first will be last is what I listen. Those that were first will be last is what I called in about. Kamala Harris returning back to the order of things, black man, black woman, then whoever else came in our kingdom that we schooled, like we always have to do. So now here you go. We're talking about, hey, what you talking about, mama? He loves mama and he hate mama. We hate mama too. Wait a minute. How do we all hate mama? You lost your point. No, wait a minute. This is talking about history repeating itself. God's plan is all I ever talk about. But you sometimes twist it and try to spin it, and there I go, arguing with you to try to lay it out all again.
Now, how can I twist the truth? How do I have that ability?
Is Christianity.
What kind of power?
Christianity
Wow.
will return to Maya.
I must be very powerful. I must have an incredible power to be able to twist up the truth.
Bill O'Reilly had that same power.
once thought
And where he
impossible
at?
thing. A once thought impossible
Bill
thing.
O'Reilly had that same power.
But
He
somehow,
called it the spin zone.
somehow, is it really me or is it just you're unclear? Appreciate it, Sir Frederick.
Hey,
Can you make?
You might be right. I watched this clip last before I go. It says, I am embarrassing, and what you heard and what you think is 2 different things, and that's why y'all can't understand me. Jesse did that in church. He's like, I ain't understand the words you said. And I went back to watch, and I said, how he didn't understand the word? I said,
Because let me explain, Frederick. Because you do this thing where you assume in your head. You do this thing where it's totally insane, Frederick, and you got to understand.
How do people not
see, look,
understand
Frederick,
what I'm
calm down.
saying? That's-
See, look,
I
Frederick.
have to understand
If we
that.
tally it
That's
up, you
wild.
interrupt me way more, sir. But let's calm down. Look, this is why this happened, Frederick. Because you do this thing, and I got to point it out. You do this thing; it's insane, and it's a source of a lot of conflict. You already knew what Jesse was thinking when he did that, but he literally did not hear you. I didn't hear you. You spoke all fast, and it's like you make like 7 points in one sentence, and we got to slow it down. Because
how do you know I made 7 points if you
because
didn't
that's
hear
how
me?
you are, and I remember that moment in church. I missed it too. All we needed you is just to repeat it. All we needed you to do was repeat it. And what did Jesse say? Repeat it. And what did you do? Laugh. That's what you do. No, wait, calm down. Frederick, do you see this? Hold on. This is a moment for you to learn. This is what happened. He asked you to repeat it. And what did you do? You laughed and looked around and said, the people who were supposed to hear me heard me. It's like, how are we supposed to converse? This is an insane thing you do, Frederick.
It and he still didn't understand.
He asked you to repeat it, and then what did you do? You laughed. You do this thing where you laugh like, oh, he totally understands. Like, it's insane, man.
I broke it down. I said the basic is the infrastructure is.
And then you get mad. And then you get mad when you break it down and it still makes no sense. I can't help you with that one, man. When you break it down and it still makes no sense, I can't help you with that, man. Don't get mad at that.
All right, I ain't get mad. I'm just saying.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not saying you're mad. I'm just my bad.
I didn't say I got mad. I said I watched this little thing about this thing saying I am embarrassing or this is embarrassing, and people hear what they want to hear sometimes, and that's why y'all don't understand what y'all hearing. I understand it. It's completely okay. Don't put it as me getting mad because y'all don't understand.
No. I wasn't saying that. I was just saying that as to communicate. I'm not saying what you're feeling. Sorry. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
All right. Great call. You have a good day, Nick.
Call me again, sir. Call me again. Come on. Give me a grade. That was like a B.
Look up. Huh?
Come on. Give me a grade. That was like a B. I slowed down, let you speak.
Yeah, I give you a B. We didn't use any analogy this time. Any, yeah.
All right, sir.
We doing all right.
All right, call me again, sir.
We communicate better.
All right,
bye. All right, yeah, take it easy.
That might be painful for you guys. I'm sorry. Let me know if it's painful. But I'm doing it as I'm forcing myself to be better. Okay? Maybe Fred needs a grade too, though. Huh? On happenstance and speaking with each other in an appropriate way. I must have a better standard for myself. And what better way to test it with the most difficult stuff? So anyways, thanks. I'm sorry. Maybe I also had fun. a thrill, okay? I'm sorry. I'm immature. Okay? What else did I have for you here in terms of stories and all that? Because, I don't know if I have much. Look, I got some stuff. Let me check my super chats real quick. Make sure that we got everybody. I believe we have Lin Yan Chin back to back. We got amazing super chats here. Thank you so much. Let's start with Kale Somogi. Oh no, let's start with Lin Yan Chin back to back. Says this call is black on black crime. Poor sister Frederick, LA. Is he white? Is he black? The anchor baby. I don't know. Frederick, LA has no focus because insecurity causes her imagination to spiral. I disavow he's a man. He's a male at least. Causes her imagination to spiral into delusion. What's this say? What's FOC? What is FOCIS? Fokies? Oh, focus. I think he's trying to say focus. Focus comes by way of calmness, aka inner stillness. Something that your comments remind me to continue to work on and have a higher standard. Inner stillness, not be a mouth breather. Let's read that again for those that didn't hear. Frederick, LA, has no focus because insecurity causes her imagination to spiral into delusion. Focus comes by way of calmness, aka inner stillness. We must slow down, anchor baby. Slow down. Focus that energy. Focus that energy. All that energy from God. It must be, it's like an open faucet. Can we get it focused? It just never ends. It's like an open faucet. It never ends. But can we get it focused? Appreciate the super chats, Lin Yan Chin. We got a party on Rumble, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Thank you so much. Let's see here. And that's all the coffees as well. Buymeacoffee.com/Anchor Baby. Let's see here. I got some links for you before we leave, before we go. Look, I know everyone's overreacting to the Olympics thing. I said my thing on the Jesse Lee Peterson show that I felt no way about it. I can honestly say that. I saw that. I was like, I almost ignored it. I almost ignored it before realizing, wait, I guess I have a show. And I guess, oh yeah, that's right, I have a show and there's things to talk about. I still don't necessarily want to talk about the Olympics and the Satanists doing the Last Supper. Besides reiterating the point about overreacting to evil. And this is how gay gets propagated, okay? Trans, gay, they traumatize you with it. If not in way more sordid ways and more visceral and physical ways, in just emotional ways, and what you see and what you just get disgusted at, it becomes a foothold to what excites you and otherwise. And so you see the mechanism by which this evil propagates, and whatever you want to call it, the trans and all that, whatever you saw on TV at the Olympics that made you so incensed. I know you saw balls, right? Like different ball sports and other things, and anybody get maybe people got kicked. I don't know. Maybe I heard. Maybe there's reports of people getting, kicked off a team or something. Getting sacked, right? Getting sacked. Maybe. It's just, maybe you saw something like that. Maybe you saw something like that where those two terms were a little closer together. They're saying this happened. I did not see it. I saw a blurred image of some guy smirking, going like all smirking, and showing something. Okay? If you're following, you're following. If you're not meant to. And, that's... Are there fines? Are there fines coming in? What's going on with that? Not that I really care, but... Well, that's kind of major, no? Isn't there a fine or something like that? Like, things aren't that crazy, right? You can't do that on TV. You can't walk out of a drive-in movie. And then the volleyball. Now, I don't watch the Olympics, but I did see this on Twitter, and I thought this was very funny. Anthony Cumia. And he's like, they're showing all that on TV. But when it comes to the beach volleyball, what is this travesty? They censored the beach volleyball, the women's beach volleyball. Now they got to wear these leggings. What is this? What is this? Worst Olympics ever. What the heck is this? Oh, so all of a sudden you could show whatever you want on TV. You could be like sashaying, no shame all over the world, but objectifying women. No, now that cannot stand. What do you mean? We're just going to let the world just ogle these people? Just ogle these women? They're taking everything from us. They're taking everything. What a mess. Thank you, Anthony Cumia. Funny stuff. What else on this? What else on this? People are blaming the Muslims because the Muslims keep voting liberal so they can bring their 25 relatives over, and that's why this ish happens. Is that a clunky statement? Any truth to that at all? Maybe a little bit. Come on. Because the Muslims keep voting liberal so they can bring their 25 relatives over. And they're showing this Olympic stuff. And I probably shouldn't show footage of this, so let's move on from that. In case of copyright and all that. So, that's that. What else on this? What a mess, right? Disgusting. What else did I have on this? Whatever. Look, the Olympics, they suck. You know what's cool about the Olympics, though? It is true. And this is not racist. There's never been an ounce of... the things that get me are stupid and personal, and they're in my life way closer to me. I don't get mad at races. I don't hate anybody I make jokes of, the Indians, like whatever. And so this isn't nasty. This isn't even controversial. The different races have like these strengths to them. It's very amazing. And where was it? There was a cool little thing I got. Where was it? It was just on the gold medals and who and what these different nations that won gold medals. And the comparison here, it was cool to see. I think it was Hungary and all these medals. And you got to understand, this is a country with, what's the population? 9.8 million. Hungary, a country with 9.8 million. And then it was like comparing like India. India, which has a population of 1.3 billion. And out of 1.3 billion, they only had like a handful of gold medals. And I might be wrong. Maybe it's way more than a handful. But it definitely was a stark difference between Hungary, a country of 10 million people with way more Olympic medals. Look, all that to say that I don't even have a salient point on that besides the strengths of the different peoples, of the different nations or races or whatever. It's an interesting thing, no? I mean, I wonder what like an engineering or math Olympics would be like. It's just interesting. Right? Nit, you are reading the wrong show notes. Zoom in on beach volleyball pics. It's from Joel's package. Wait, let me pull that up. This is for science. This is for posterity. Beach volleyball. Let's go 1994. Let's go 1994 Olympics beach volleyball. And this is news. We're doing the news. We're for posterity's sake. Science. We are doing this for science. And for the news, we got to be accurate in our reporting. You know what Jesse said to me? Jesse said to me, Nick, present whatever you like, but make sure whatever you do present, it's accurate. And what can you tell? This is the beach volleyball in 1994. We were just talking about it today. Jesse wanted me to be accurate, okay? All right, Jesse, you want me to be accurate? We're being accurate, okay? We're being accurate, okay? We got to be accurate for science. We're being accurate for posterity so that people may know. For history, this is history. We're recording history, if anything. Okay, posterity. I'm trying to find good picks, y'all. Where are they? Are these not athletes? For posterity's sake. Posterity. Okay, we're good. Folks, that's beach volleyball for you. And the strengths of the different peoples. It's cool. I love diversity. Like, on a real note, in a sense. There's, like, the proper way. That doesn't mean immigration. What the heck? We got to talk about that big time. But I love diversity. It's an amazing thing, no? I'm remembering, too, you know, I've shown, this is early Nick stream. I showed you guys this. I'll probably show you. Maybe I'll show you, like, Friday or something. But early Nick stream, I was showing you one of the most amazing videos to come out of America, and it's a past Olympics back in the day. And it was so amazing. It was so, I don't know, it was so bombastic and huge. And it's like 500 pianos, 300 live violins. It was like, let's make the biggest ceremony ever. It was so funny. I don't know if it's like so American, but it was cool. And I'll show it to you maybe later this week. One of the most amazing openings and closing ceremonies of an Olympics ever. And it's so funny the way they ended it. They end it with the whole stage going black, all the lights turning off, and then suddenly above the stadium appears a UFO. And out of the UFO comes out a Martian with a speech akin to something like, we've been watching you, humanity. We've been watching you from far away, and we are pleased with what we see. Like, that's awesome. Anyways, cool stuff. Diversity of all the peoples and the strengths you have. Amazing. That's pretty much it for me, though. What else do I have for you? That's the show, folks. That is it for me. And I'll be back tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby. Sorry, let me be clear. This wait, hold on. Don't worry about that. I got to get something clear before I say anything else. So just make sure you hit the notification bell and you subscribe, you like, and all that so that you are up to date with whatever updates may come to my channel. So appreciate you being with me today. And like I said, just hit the notification bell. That way you're up to date should there be any scheduled changes. But I am dedicated to Punchy and streaming here. And you'll see me as we do. If it's not in the 12 o'clock time, is what I'm trying to say. All right, folks, take care. As always, appreciate it. And Hugo Chavez, can you play us out? Hugo Chavez? Take care, y'all. See you tomorrow.
Venezuela, by the way, has the lowest...
Wait. Bye.
Seamos un tilín mejores y un poco menos egoístas. Huele esperanza.
In this common endeavor,
Huele esperanza.
All of us work together. We must embrace a new era of engagement because the time has come.
For cause to be sustained, it has to be shared.
oh, we can smell the hope.
The time has come.
Smell the better world, so fragrant. A better world to live in for future generations everywhere.
How is the Nobel Peace Prize decided?
Well, that is what people were asking all day today.
We mix a secret potion and roll the ancient dice, then hire a focus group and have a human sacrifice.
A lot of people are asking today, why do you think the committee selected President Obama?
I believe a prize for peace should go to the biggest ones.
They're giving Obama a prize for not being George Bush.
They can smell the hope.
Take a deep breath and hold the smelly world. Deep breath.
A better world to live in for future generations everywhere.